Hello, Jonathan Kelly here. A thought for the season. In the book of Daniel, we have recorded that Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon had invaded Israel and take out some of the most prominent young persons that were there, carrying them back to Babylon. Among them were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whom he gave other names. And Nebuchadnezzar, as you will read in chapter 3, decided that he would make an idol, and he would invite all the musicians and every other person to come and bow down against this idol. But these Hebrew boys decided, we are not bowing down to any idol, even if God don't deliver us. The statement was that if they would not decide to back down from their decision, then the furnace will be heated 70 times 7. And so I look at it this evening. I look at it as a challenge to heroic action. A challenge to heroic action. We are living in perilous times. But men have lived in perilous times before and were faithful. They were victorious by taking their stand. They were able to overcome. Certainly, the situation was such that would cause one to be fearful. But these three men knew who they believe in, and they were trusting in God, the true God, who do not encourage the worship of idols, for he is God, and he is the one that should be worshipped. Faithfulness in times of peril. The Hebrew boys were brought before Nebuchadnezzar. They were threatened, but would not bow. Whatever charges and decisions were stated, they stood firm and would not bow when they were threatened. They were committed to serving their God, even if it means that God would not have delivered them. Courageous they were. They were tried, but would not bend. They were courageous. Even if God do not deliver us, they said, we are not careful to answer you, O king, in this decision that you have made. No matter what, they were not going to turn away from worshiping the true God to worship idols. And thirdly, they were thrown in the fire, but would not burn. They were thrown in the fire, but would not burn. They were committed. Their God was the God to be worshipped. God work in their behalf. And God will work when we face perilous times and when we find confrontation against our faith. We can put our trust in God, for God will work for us. It may look like all the odds are against us, but God worked for them. For the king declared, asked the question there, did we not throw 3 men in the furnace? But I see 4, and that one is like the Son of God. And those men who were thrown in the fire, the king called to them to come out. They were not even a hair on their bodies singed nor smell of fire, for God walked through the fire with them. The Son of God walked through the fire with them. God will go with us through difficult times. And let this thought this evening be of such to help us even in these perilous times. Our worst times are yet to come, because this has been declared in the Word. Perilous times, Peter said, in the last days there shall be perilous times. Men shall be lovers of God more than lovers of themselves, more than lovers of God. Disobedience, lawlessness, earthquakes, wars and rumors of wars, brutality by human beings against each other. And this is that which we are seeing in the world today. The Hebrew boys were threatened, but they stood firm. For God, they said, is on their side. And the king declared that these Hebrew boys' God was the God to be worshipped. And he made a decree that if any person be found worshiping any other God different from the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they will be perished. When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown in a furnace that was heated 70 times 7, the people who threw them in there were singed, but destroyed. But God walked with them through the furnace. They were tried, but would not bow. They were threatened, but would not bend. They were thrown in the furnace, but would not burn. What a wonderful illustration of one's faith. And even when we are confronted about our faith and trust in God, let us keep faithful. Let us keep standing firm, for God is in control. It may not seem so, but the things that are happening in the world today has been already declared. But it has also been declared that the Master will come and rescue us out of this situation. Let us continue to put our trust in him. Let us continue to stand firm. One writer says, standing on the promises of God. Let us continue to stand on these promises. We shall not fail, but we shall overcome. God's blessings be on you.